is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirts, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Marc Gasol, a guy that got traded in by the trade deadline. A lot of people said that this trade wouldn't have mattered. A lot of people saying that it could be a big move for them, especially because he's a veteran with playoff experience. Plus, Jonas Valanciunas missed a lot of games this season already, and they were still able to win and contribute without him. Plus, as a defender, he's just great at communicating. He's great at telling people what they need to be, and he's a great one-on-one defender, which will help them in the playoffs, is what I said. They knew that in the beginning of the season that Marc Gasol coming into this season, they still was a good defensive team, one of the better defensive teams in the beginning of the season. All of that fell apart as the season continued to go on. So I said, if you have the right talent and the right tools around Marc Gasol, he can still be a great anchor. They have Kawhi Leonard, they have Lowry, they have Green, they have Siakam and Serge. So they have the perfect tools to really guard the perimeter and guard the paint one-on-one. And Marc Gasol is not required to do as much as he would do in Memphis because they need him to do more because they have less talent and they have less perimeter defenders, unlike Toronto. So I thought this was a sneaky good move by Ujiri. Nobody really seen it coming. It was no rumors, no nothing. Next thing you know, he got traded to Toronto. He was loyal to Memphis. Obviously, he didn't want to leave. He signed a 5-year extension to stay in Memphis. He thought they'd be competitive. He thought they'd have a chance to win the championship. I thought he should have went to a different team instead of signing that extension. But it shows you how much he loved and enjoyed being in Memphis. Most of his success came with being with Memphis, being an all-star, making the all-NBA team, and becoming the Defensive Player of the Year player, plus raising up his scoring, and they needed him to do more. He was able to do that, transforming him into an all-star starter in the NBA, showing how much progress and how much work he put in to get better. But obviously, as the team continued to diminish and get worse, and Mike Conley continued to get injured, they started becoming one of the worst teams in the NBA. They started off this season pretty good, guarding, defending well, but they just couldn't do it consistently enough to stay in the playoff race. Marc Gasol and Mike Conley would stay healthy, but it just wasn't enough. Like 3-4 years ago, it would have been. I thought they was going to make the playoffs in the first 2 months of the season, but it was very unrealistic because they just didn't have enough talent outside of Marc Gasol and Mike Conley to consistently put up a fight against some of the better teams because they do play in the Western Conference. And at the end of the day, it ended up catching up to them. I thought their defense would be sustainable, but it just didn't hold over just like their offense. They always been a bad to okay offensive team, but they always was able to use their pride on defense to carry them in series and to carry them in the playoffs and make it ugly, make it slow, make you play their game, make you play their pace. But they started going a little more offensive the last couple years, trying to change their strategy, trying to add and remove some old and new pieces, and it ended up getting them to mediocrity. And now they became one of the worst teams in the NBA the last 2 years. Even though Conley was injured last year, he was healthy this year, and they just couldn't figure it out and put enough talent on the court for they can legitimately win. And they went through a lot of coaches, too, that was able to help get this team to the playoffs, but they could never really get over the hump and become a championship team. They was always a contender for the playoff spot, but they was never a legitimate championship team in my eyes. But I had to give them respect for what they was able to do. And with them being into this season, being a good duo and one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, it looked like they will finally make it back to the playoffs after missing it 2 years ago, which really didn't happen. We ended up seeing them blow it up a little bit, trading a lot of their pieces after they try to get Justin Holiday and some guys. They realized it's just time to just move forward and go younger. And I think that was a good pickup for them to get Jonas Valanciunas because he is younger. He has a lot of potential. He is a great rebounder. He is a decent offensive player, and he does fit well what they're trying to do. He's not the defender that they want him to be, but he still is a player that has value, and he is a guy that is a loyal person too, just like Marc Gasol, and they will need a guy like that. But going into Toronto, I think the funny thing is that Marc Gasol was a guy that a lot of people thought was washed up. He was done. Some people even preferred them to keep Jonas Valanciunas over Marc Gasol, which is kind of crazy now that you look at what he did to Nikola Vucevic, taking him completely out of the series, forcing him to play on the perimeter, allowing him not to even be able to post up or even become a asset as passing. Jokic was completely done in that series, and it helped them win that series in five. Now we starting to see him versus Embiid. Now I know Embiid got knee problems, and I know he was sick, but he still guarded him well over the career that they played against each other. Marc Gasol was able to hold him to a terrible shooting percentage, and he basically was able to get Embiid out of the game. But obviously, the series is 1-1, so you can't really say he has dominated the matchup because they're tied. But I feel like he gives them somebody that can literally give you 5 to 6 fouls on Joel Embiid, but he also can contest and make every shot tough and hard around the basket. He has good feet. He knows how to move his body. He knows how to use verticality, and he knows how to stay in the right positions in the right stance to make it tough. Plus, at the end of the day, he's very disciplined. He doesn't reach a lot. He doesn't commit a lot of stupid fouls, and most centers and power forwards do. But he's been so smart and so nimble that he knows what to do, knows where to be, and knows how to make it tough on his opponent. Joel Embiid is one of the most unstoppable players in the league, especially because he can get to the free throw line, and Marc Gasol has been able to get him off the free throw line and make him take contested shots throughout the whole series so far. And I definitely think that him being able to neutralize Embiid is going to be a huge advantage for them when they continue to play this series. If they can take out Embiid and make it tough on Butler and Tobias, it's going to be real hard for Philadelphia to win in that case. But at the end of the day, I think Marc Gasol is a more valuable piece than people thought, and he's starting to prove that with his one-on-one and his team defense and his ability to take centers and put them on a perimeter where he can handle the ball or pass in a mid or high post. But not only that, he's stretching out the floor to the point where you cannot really help or double team because the paint is open, allowing people like Kyle Lowry and Kawhi Leonard and Wright to get to the paint and get decent shots, or even Siakam. Siakam likes to spin. He likes to get hook shots, but you need space and room to be able to maneuver and move in the paint. And since Marc Gasol can play that center position at the three-point line, it gives his ability to move and get more freedom in the paint because you don't have to worry about somebody taking up space in the paint. And that's one of the reasons why he has been so amazing for the Toronto Raptors, is because he does give them matchup problems and he's able to guard his guys one-on-one. And that's what make him a very good asset for the Raptors, a guy that is going to be able to give you that type of advantage. And it just fits so much better knowing that Marc Gasol is just that good and he can play that position and give them things that Jonas couldn't do consistently. Jonas never was a great three-point shooter. Jonas was never a great defender, even though this helps them more in a short term. And Jonas can be a better player in a long term because he can stay more healthier. And on top of that, he is a quality big, but they never utilized him right. They never found a way to keep him consistently getting touches. He never was a big part of what they did. He was a small part, being hustle, energy, and he didn't really play that many minutes either in Toronto. They split his minutes with other bigs. So I think Marc Gasol so far in this playoff run is showing you how valuable, and he's showing you how good he still can be. Even though he is older, he can't do what he used to do. He has declined a lot. He doesn't have to do as much because of the talent that Toronto has and the defenders that they have on the perimeter and the inside makes his job a lot easier. And it doesn't mean he has to do as much as he would do on a weaker team like Memphis. He doesn't have to carry and do as much on his Toronto team. The biggest problem that I had with Marc Gasol is that he just lost his aggressiveness. I just think I think he should be just a little bit more aggressive because it puts pressure on the bigs in a team. I mean, in the players that guards him. And I think that's something that I wish he had just a little bit more attack in him. I know that he likes to sit at the top of the key or in the corner for threes, but I thought that when he went to Toronto, he'd bring some of that Memphis grit. He wants to make it ugly. He wants to make it slow, but I don't see him attacking really that much in the playoffs so far. And that's one thing I'm surprised that he isn't trying to be more aggressive. He only took 8 shots in game one against Philly. He only took 6 shots in game two against Philly. And obviously, when they played Orlando, he only averaged 5.6 shots. The most shots he took in the Orlando series was 9. And then he took 5, then he took 6, then he took 3, then he took 5 again. I just wish he did a little bit more offensively to give them more of an advantage. And I think that's something that the coach, Nick Nurse, should really address, trying to get him more involved and try to utilize him more because he can create a lot of havoc and a lot of problems if he posts up or they use him in post ups, dribble handoffs, and in screens. If they use him just a little bit more, it gives them another weapon offensively that they can rely on. Because remember, Kyle Lowry can come and go. Danny Green can come and go. Siakam had an okay game. They still gonna need somebody to pick it up a little bit more in this playoffs because you're going against better teams and better coaches. You need more out of Marc Gasol than you did against Orlando to beat this Philadelphia team. We've seen him give a lot defensively, but I just want to see him become a more impact player offensively. We know that he can do more than shoot spot up threes. Majority of his shots is coming from threes, but he's not even shooting that many threes to even make a big impact on a game. I know he's been able to keep games close. That game two could have went either way against Philly, but I still want to see him become more of an impact player offensively. He's doing well and fantastic defensively. I just want him to be a little bit more aggressive offensively to give and balance out that offense for the Toronto Raptors. I feel like you can't just rely on Kawhi Leonard and Pascal every single game to give you that many points. You still need other people to put in 10, 13, 15 points consistently every game to beat a team as talented as Philly. And I think Marc Gasol is one of those guys that can still give you double digits, at least 7 rebounds, a couple blocks, a steal, and give you some good shooting from the post or even from pick and pop from the mid range. I want him to just to be a little bit more aggressive and less passive. Right now he's being a little bit too team friendly. I need him to be a little bit more selfish because he has a good matchup. He has quality shots available. He's been turning them down a lot and he hasn't been trying to make a big impact offensively since he joined this team. I just want to see a little bit of the last 3 years of Marc Gasol play a little bit more in this Toronto series when it comes to the offensive end. Same with Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's picking his spots. I just want him to be a little bit more aggressive too, and I think that that will make the series a lot easier and make them a lot tougher to guard, and they'll put a lot more pressure on the Philly defense because more people are trying to impact the game offensively, making the defense scramble, making them be off balance, and making more pressure because more people are making shots, more people you got to guard and respect, the harder it is for you to guard that team. So I want to see a more aggressive Lowry, a significantly more, about 35% more offense from Marc Gasol. You don't need him to give you 20 to 25 points. You just need him to be more of a factor offensively to give you an advantage every time you play. Joel Embiid doesn't really want to guard him at the three-point line, but he also don't want to get in foul trouble. He also don't want to be caught guarding him one-on-one because his knees are no good and he's sick. So you want to use that as an advantage instead of as a not giving him the benefit of the doubt. If Embiid doesn't have to guard you, Embiid doesn't have to really, focus on you because you're not doing anything offensively, he can take time off. He can rest a little bit. You want to keep those knees going. You want to take advantage of his sickness by attacking them and forcing him to play defense. And it'll help them a lot if they can get him into foul trouble. If they can get Embiid into foul trouble, that's an advantage going to Toronto, getting their best rim protector and their best defender off the court earlier can help them win the game easier. And I think just with Lowry and Marc Gasol up in their intensity, and upping their offensive game and their aggressiveness and their selfishness up about 35%. I think that'll really help them move forward. So let me know what you guys think. Is Marc Gasol one of the biggest steals of this season? Was he one of the sleeper pickups of this offseason? People didn't know if it was, I mean, of the trade deadline. People didn't know if it was going to work. People didn't know if he was going to really benefit them. People didn't know if he really had something left in the tank. And people didn't even really think he was that much better than Jonas Valanciunas. And he has proven that in the playoffs that he was a great pickup. He's exactly what they need. He just needs to be a little bit more aggressive offensively, and that'll make them a little bit more diverse, a little bit more versatile, and a little bit more dynamic, and it will give them a lot more matchup problems offensively for the teams that guard them, because he can post up, he can play in pick and roll, and he can shoot the three, valuable things in the NBA today, and he can put the ball on the floor every once in a while, draw fouls and get to the paint, or even kick out to shooters, which they're loaded with Kawhi Leonard, Siakam, obviously Danny Green and Lowry. He can be a little bit more aggressive doing that too. It makes them get easier shots from the three-point line because it collapses the defense, leaving somebody in the corner or somebody in the top of the key open. So let me know what you guys think. If he should be more aggressive, do you like the way he's playing, or do you think they just need him just for the defense, or do you think this is a steal and he has played well and he has been better than what people expected and people have slept on him? Whatever you think, let me know in the comment section below. I'm Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody that likes on Facebook. Thanks for everybody that continues to buy merchandise. I really do love and appreciate it. Thanks for everybody that's new to the channel that checked out this video. Check out my older videos. I have playlists on my channel. I do free agency, buyouts, trade deadline, NBA breakdowns of rookies, legends, and players. I also do NBA draft coverage, summer league coverage, preseason gambles, and obviously I do other content outside of that, like discussions, top 10 videos, and fun videos in general. And if you like this video, check out my older one. If you like those, subscribe. And also I have playlists for you to catch up on a lot of things and enjoy the videos I already made. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching. That's why I continue to go. Let me know what you guys think about Marc Gasol and the Raptors in the comment section below. I'm go.